It's the Forcecast time again. Welcome. We are your anchors, Morgan.
And Austin.
Welcome back to our newest episode. Today we are going to be talking about dragons.
Yes, dragons.
Probably our favorite mythical creature, or at least my favorite. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm a dragon boy.
I figured it was probably your favorite too. Love them. But before we get on to that, let's start with our On This Day segment. Let's start with On This Day in Lord of the Rings. In Lord of the Rings, with yesterday, they got to Lothlorien and made their way through the wood. And then today, Thursday, it says the company arrives in Carascalathon, which basically is another name.
On Earth.
What he said. Basically, it's where Galadriel and Celeborn reside. I almost said Celebrimbor.
Wrong elf.
That is a completely different elf.
Well, they took some fictional liberties, but...
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so basically the Fellowship arrived in Rivendell around this time.
Rivendell?
Wow, okay. Try that again. They arrive in Lothlorien. My bad.
Yes.
Totally went off there. But yeah, that's really all there is for that in Lord of the Rings. What about Star Wars?
Some important stuff. Well, today, big day, if you don't already know it, I've been on Instagram and I've been seeing it. The birthday of James Earl Jones.
Woohoo!
The voice of Darth Vader. I love James Earl Jones because he's a man who comes back.
Yes.
Like, I like those actors who come back to do their roles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's Matthew Wood or James Wood for Hades. Look this up, please. Hades, Hercules. Like actors like him, because he said he loved playing Hades so much that he would come back and do it for free if Disney asked him.
James Woods.
James Woods. Yeah, that's Hades. But James Earl Jones, love him. He made Darth Vader what Darth Vader is. Okay, you don't have Darth Vader without James Earl Jones, because he's just so freaking cool.
Although, who's been the guy that's been voicing him like in video games and stuff?
Matt Sloan. He was originally Chad Vader, the YouTube series Chad Vader. Very funny.
Oh, so funny.
Very funny stuff. But then eventually, for the Force Unleashed video game, they got him to play Darth Vader. And then he's pretty much been Darth Vader in every video game ever since.
He does a pretty good job.
He does a very good job of it. So much so they actually made fun of it once. They had like a mini episode with Chad Vader playing the Kinect Star Wars game, where Matt Sloan voiced Darth Vader in it. And so Chad Vader's like, he doesn't sound like himself at all. It's like, I get you, Chad Vader. I see where you're coming from. But yes, James Earl Jones, he came back for Rebels, which is what happens when you have a Disney budget. You can afford, because they got, not only they got James Earl Jones, they got Frank Oz for 2 episodes, albeit.
Yes.
But they got Frank Oz. They got other actors. They got the lady who played Mon Mothma in Episode 3 and Rogue One to be Mon Mothma in that as well. They had more people. I know they had more people from the original trilogy. Oh yeah, then again, he always comes back too. Billy D. They had Billy D come back.
Billy D!
He always comes back. He will never not come back. Like, Billy D is always Lando in anything ever.
Unless you're Donald Glover.
Except for that. It's like Anthony Daniels. He's always C-3PO too. So anyway, today is the birthday of James Earl Jones. Happy birthday.
How old is he?
It does not say. It just says he was, 1931?
Wow.
He's old, man. I don't even want to do the math on that.
Yeah, let's do some quick math.
70, 80 some years.
Minus 1931, you said?
Yes.
He is 88 years old.
88 years old, man.
Holy crap, he's old.
But yeah, that's...
But actually, from last I saw, he still looked pretty good, I think.
Looks pretty good. He still sounds great. He was in Rogue One. I think he's also gonna be in the Vader Immortal VR series. Because in the trailer, when Vader speaks, it ain't Matt Sloan. Because, like, there is a distinct... It's kind of like listening to Tom Kane in Clone Wars as Yoda, and then hearing Frank Oz as Yoda. There's, like, a very clear... Yeah, this is Yoda, and this is Tom Kane. Like, when Vader talks, he has one line in the Vader Immortal trailer, and it is not Matt Sloan. I'm pretty darn certain it's James Earl Jones.
Well, and you're pretty good at picking up on voices, too.
Sometimes. But yeah, it just sounds too authentic Vader to not be James, unless they got a guy who can do an impressive James Earl Jones, like Ross Marquand, who did Red Skull in Infinity War. It did the flawless Hugo Weaving impression. Some lines I was not sure it wasn't. I was like, this is Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, did they really get Hugo Weaving to come back?
Nope, they got Ross Marquand and did an amazing job of it. They did approach Hugo Weaving, but he didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate,
I don't blame him.
But still, actually, I don't even think he did mocap for Red Skull. I think he was entirely CG.
Wow.
Unless they did do mocap, but everyone's been saying he was just CG. Ross Marquand just did the voice.
Well, then you have Liam O'Brien, who does a flawless Gollum.
Flawless Gollum. If you've never played Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War, Liam O'Brien, I have immense respect for this man. Mm-hmm. He does... Excuse me. He does Gollum in the non-canon Lord of the Rings games that try as hard as they want to be canon. So try as hard as they can to be canon. He does Gollum, and it is just spot on. Like, honestly, I have so... Because usually, in the video games, it's either Andy Serkis, and you can tell because it sounds like Gollum, or it's not Andy Serkis, and you can tell because it doesn't sound like Gollum. And then there's Liam O'Brien, who does an impressively good Gollum.
He is super
so
impressive.
Good, and it's like... to a T. I'm like, when I first found out it wasn't Andy Serkis, I was surprised. I was like, that sounds just like him. This guy's good.
He's good. Nothing else for Star Wars?
Nothing else for Star Wars. Nothing else really that big happening this week.
Well, happy birthday, James Earl
Happy
Jones.
birthday to the man, the myth, the legend, Mufasa himself, everyone's favorite and least favorite dad. Well, I guess Darth Vader's kind of everyone's favorite, but not favorite dad, but
yeah. All right. So that takes care of our On This Day segment. Now let's dive into today's topic, dragons.
Dragons. I call them Dargons. If any of you know why I call them Dargons, respect to you.
I don't.
Well, that's because you're not in the know.
Oh, well, thanks.
Maybe I'll explain next episode. If anyone knows, please comment. Please comment. Because, yeah, this is an inside joke. Dragons.
But yeah, dragons are... amazing mythical creatures, and both Austin and I actually over the last few days kind of looked into like the history of like dragons and mythology, and there are you said you did.
I saw a post on Instagram.
Oh.
I didn't actually do research into this. I didn't know.
I looked into it.
I didn't know I was supposed to.
Well, I only did it because I was curious. But almost literally every culture just about has dragons in some way, shape, or form in their mythology. It's incredible, really.
And again, we covered this last time. They all had it individually. Like, independent of each other. So, kind of question as to why, why does every culture have this mythical figure that flies, probably breathes fire, is serpent-like, and in often occasions is wise, like Eastern dragons are more wise and revered than Western dragons, which are more just like beastly and, kidnap maidens and things like that. Mm-hmm. Which could also be, maybe that's how the dragons of old were. Maybe the Western dragons were just more like, hey, I want to eat people, whereas the dragons of the East are more like, hey, I want to bestow wisdom.
Yeah.
I once, when I was younger, had a book called Dragonology, which pretty much was a book that just pretty much acted as though dragons were real and still existed and lived out somewhere in the wild.
You actually believed dragons were real because of that book.
I did, because it gave very good evidence to support it. The rest was fake evidence, but maybe it was all real. Maybe it's meant to make us think it was fake.
Yeah. Nah, dragons aren't real, or are they?
Love for dragons to be real, honestly. I would like nothing more than a pet dragon.
Oh yeah, same here.
Like, little shoulder-sized one. Just fit him on your shoulder, his tail wraps around your arm. Mm-hmm. Then you have a pet dragon. Everyone respects you.
Not entirely. I have a pet dragon in one of my D&D campaigns, and I get no respect.
I'm talking about in this land.
I know. I'm just saying.
Like, scientists supposedly are gonna be able to, bring back dinosaurs. Screw that!
There are,
five
movies as to why you should not do that.
There are 5 movies saying why you shouldn't do that. It's like, genetically modify those creeps and make a dragon out of it. Modify a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a freaking pterodactyl. Make me a Dargan. Doesn't have to breathe fire. Just make a little itty bitty one, like in Spy Kids 2.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I went there. I made that reference.
Wow.
That's
a blast from the past.
The little itty bitty ones. Just put them on my shoulder. More like Harry Potter size.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to go mini dragons, talk Harry Potter.
We're not talking about Game of Thrones size or even baby Saphira size.
They're big.
We're talking about little itty bitty ones.
I don't know, those Game of Thrones dragons got real big.
Well, yeah, they grow up. they become dragons.
They're huge.
We don't watch Game of Thrones, but we of course see the trailers because every trailer has to feature the dragon, right? We see it in
trailers,
passing.
Pictures, we see all that stuff.
We see it in passing mostly.
Yeah. But yeah, if I could choose a mythical creature, to be real, definitely a dragon. I wouldn't be afraid of heights, I'm pretty sure, if I had a dragon to ride on. Because, I'm pretty sure...
You're more afraid of heights on a plane than you are on a dragon.
Well, no. I'm fine on a plane, but...
I'd be more afraid on a dragon because there's no seatbelts. There ain't no seatbelts on that.
I don't know. It's one of those where I'm like, if I ever, could fly or something, I wouldn't be afraid of heights. Because it's like, okay, I can control myself in the air. Probably same with a dragon. That'd be kind of cool. But the main thing we want to talk about more than just dragons in general is we want to focus on dragons, in pop culture and media, movies, TV, all that stuff. And so we have a list of, I want to say some of our favorite dragons, but honestly, after going through lists on the internet, these are pretty much all of the big dragons
well-known
mentioned.
Dragons.
Yeah, the biggest well-known dragons in any kind of media. So we're gonna go ahead and go through our list and just kind of talk about these dragons that a lot of people are familiar with and kind of give our take on them.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we have to start with the king.
The king,
Smaug.
Smaug.
We currently have 2 Smaug Funko Pops staring us in the face right now.
The reason that we have 2 Smaugs is they're actually, one is mine and one is Paul's. I gave Paul one, and then actually it was for Christmas last year, and then that same day his brother actually gave me the other one, and Paul didn't know that he got it from me.
But one of them has just all black eyes, the other one has yellow eyes with Smaug's pupils.
So they're slightly different.
They're slightly different, and the one with the pupils is absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, that's the one that Jacob gave me.
Yeah. These are special. These are limited edition, anything. Or special edition, or exclusive.
I think, something like that. And Austin has one, too, back at our parents' place.
Yes, and as I have before explained, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Made this dragon.
He made Smaug what he is.
If you've never seen the behind-the-scenes features of Benedict Cumberbatch creating Smaug, it's impressive.
Oh, yeah.
He studied Komodo dragons as a source of how would he move. Now, of course, I think Smaug moves a little differently in the movie because they changed it slightly, but... But he kind of adopted. You see him because he's just sitting on he's laying prone on the ground, moving his head and speaking very over enunciated because that's how you gotta speak.
Yeah,
when
you really gotta do that with
when you do motion capture. You really have to move your face so they catch everything and can translate.
I'll see if I can find a video and post it in the description.
Yeah, and it's funny because he's sitting just like a Komodo dragon, just like the way he's sitting. That's it's how a Komodo dragon sits. I've seen them at the zoo. They don't do anything.
Well, what's also cool is when he talked about kind of where he got his inspiration for the voice, is he said, honestly, I was just copying the way that my dad, when he read The Hobbit to me as a boy, he read Smaug's voice in that exact way. So he was just copying the way his dad, read Smaug to him as a child. Which with his voice, was just absolutely cool, but absolutely horrifying at the same time.
And, just... Absolutely, just the design, the way he looked was so amazing.
One of the most realistic-looking dragons.
Most. I'm gonna call it the most realistic.
When I remember, there was nothing showing the dragon before that because they were so secretive about it.
And that was the idea. You can't show the dragon yet. And then you show him, he rises out of the gold in full glory, and he looks incredible. And we saw it in 3D, and he looked so good.
I think I literally stopped breathing.
It was great.
When his head was lifting, because I'm like, we're going to see the dragon. Awesome. And oh my
And he looked amazing, and then he spoke.
And they're just like, oh, it's him.
And they used Benedict's face as they just kind of stretched it with the motion capture, so they didn't just randomly animate it. They used Benedict's face as the model for moving Smaug's mouth, and you can kind of tell when you watch him. Kind of. I mean, it's hard because he's a Dargan and he's a long face, but
are you just gonna say Dargan this entire time?
Mostly. It's also kind of funny. They said because I saw one of the animators. He said that there's actually a part when Smaug's moving around the mountain. There's actually a part one of his wings phases through a pillar.
What?
But it's not on camera, so they didn't care. They're just like, we'll just let it happen because he can't fit, so they just let it phase through a pillar. They're like, it's not on camera. They can't, so don't worry about it. So we couldn't move the pillar. They're like, nah, they don't see it. just phases through. But he was huge. He was massive. They say he's the size. He's longer than 2 747 jets. Mm-hmm. And those suckers are massive.
Now I know some people that
how he did not destroy. I'm sorry. How he did not destroy Lake Town in one swoop is beyond me.
I don't know. I know some people would argue that technically he's not a dragon. He's a wyvern because he has 2 legs and wings.
We don't care.
But frankly,
technically he's a fire drake.
Yeah.
Drakes have 2 legs.
But it's like, really, I say that they're still technically dragons. They're just like
I say
subclass.
the difference is minimal and ultimately
irrelevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ultimately forgettable. I mean, I don't think, especially, and again, different mythologies, especially, just like have different rules. Like in some worlds, yes, wyverns maybe do not breathe fire, and dragons do. But this is Middle Earth. It's like I'm pretty sure they all do.
Yeah. Now, however, you said that he was massive, but there is a bigger dragon
whom we have talked about.
In the realm of Middle Earth we mentioned before, and Calagon the Black.
I'm pretty sure every dragon is actually bigger than Smaug, historically speaking.
Probably.
So it's like, just imagine how freaking big, like even Glaurung, the first dragon, the wingless dragon, who was, okay, I'm sorry, we're going to talk about Calagon in a second, but I love kind of how Tolkien just kind of does things. Like, literally, Glaurung, Glaurung was the first dragon, had no wings, he was an experiment created by Morgoth, the Dark Lord before Sauron, he was Sauron's master, pretty much. And it's really funny, because the elves were attacking Angband, which was Morgoth's fortress, and I think it literally says that they forgot to lock the cage. And he walked outside like, "Ooh, what's this?" And the elves are like, "What is that?" And Morgoth's like, "Why is he out of his cage? This isn't the time." I think it's literally how it goes. I haven't read the Silmarillion in a while.
I was say that's if the Silmarillion was a comedy, apparently.
He literally just walks outside accidentally, and they're like, "No, he's supposed to be inside." He's actually a very smart dragon, too. He could manipulate magic. Like, he could do creepy things.
Yeah, Glaurung was the first fire dragon, the first dragon to appear in Tolkien's work in the Silmarillion. And then when you have Calagon. Now,
it's huge.
Again, if you thought Smaug was huge,
literally massive.
and Calagon literally could smash mountain ranges with his foot.
I honestly, this is how, maybe not quite this big, but I'm thinking, like, the supremacy. Like, that's how big this dragon is. Mm-hmm. He's huge. Like, they killed him.
If you thought Star Destroyers are huge, look at the supremacy.
I know, it's a freaking massive. Like, that's kind of the scale. I like Smaug would be one of those first order Star Destroyers, whereas Calagon is the supremacy. Like, this humongous force of nature that just blocks out everything. And then they kill him somehow. I don't know how you kill something that big, and he falls, he breaks Angband, we've talked about this, he crushes it, and destroys mountains. How big is this guy? And he just showed up, like, he literally just showed up in the Silmarillion. He showed up at that battle. He'd never been seen before, and he just comes out, and it's like, oh, hi.
You're big.
Erendil's like, oh boy, he's new. Okay.
They've been in the tank, pack it in, guys.
Boys, actually, kind of Morgoth kind of did it in the tank, but it's just like, oh, hi, you're somehow they killed it. I don't remember how they killed it, but they killed him.
I don't remember either.
Very short-lived. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, I guess.
Yeah, those are just Tolkien's dragons, which are...
And there's only 2. I'm pretty sure there might be more.
I'd say those are at least the 2 that are named, I believe.
As well as Smaug, of course.
Oh, yeah, when Smaug.
Smaug, the original, technically, because he was in The Hobbit, which was written before Lord of the Rings. And he's the original.
Yeah, see, Tolkien's dragons are just fantastic, well-written, just overall just incredible. And again, Smaug will, like, pretty much forever be my favorite dragon, pretty much, from The Hobbit.
And also, again, it's just like, okay, with Cumberbatch and everything, just like the way everything with Smaug came together so perfectly. The scene with him and Bilbo, even the showdown between him and the dwarves, the attack on Lake Town, just all came together so well.
It was amazing.
Seeing him die was almost sad, because, like, I want to see more!
You're like, no, more the dragon!
I want more!
Now, if any of you have seen the cartoon version of Smaug...
He looks like a cat. Looks like a
that was absolutely horrendous.
He looks like a fat cat. We're not big fans of the old cartoons. If you are, that's great. We're just not fans. He looks like a fat cat. Like,
and he doesn't sound intimidating at all.
And not like PHAT fat. We're talking fat like Garfield fat. Like, it's literally what he looks like.
Yeah, more like Fat Albert fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is not a dragon.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
count
not
that
big
thing as
fans
a
of
dragon.
him in the cartoon. We love his look in the freaking movie, though. Also, again, because we were talking about soundtracks here for a minute, is what to do with Smaug's soundtrack, what to do with his theme. First of all, his theme, I love his theme. Very simple, very foreboding, excuse me. But, like, when he's in the mountain, when Bilbo's in the mountain, and it's just all, he's looking for the Arkenstone, and it's all quiet, and there's, like, these little, like, percussion instruments in the background. They used, like, Asian instruments, because they kind of took, because you look at him, he's kind of got some Eastern influence in his design. He definitely looks more like a Western dragon, but you can see there's a little, he almost looks Mushu-esque in some instances. And they actually use, like, Asian, like, you know, bells and other types of instruments as, like, kind of, you know, just a way to do his music, which I really liked. Some of, like, the flutes, and I don't know what the instruments are called. I'm not that good. So. I haven't watched the behind the scenes in a while, too.
Yeah, his theme was super cool.
I love his theme. And a scene with him under the gold, with Battle of the Five Armies, when his ghost is swimming through the ground.
Oh, yeah.
It was a cool scene.
Now I want to bring up probably my second favorite dragon ever, Draco from Dragonheart.
Draco, second best looking dragon.
Especially for the times. That was back in the 90s.
He looks amazing. Honestly, he holds up.
Even by
He
today's
holds up to
standards, he
Smaug.
looks
Like,
great.
Smaug is definitely detailed, but Draco he just looks great.
Because, I mean, you know,
Even like Harry Potter, the first movie, like that troll doesn't really hold up. It's
Not
kind of
really.
ugly to look at, but Draco looks amazing.
I mean, a lot of, like, the technology, the graphics and whatnot from older movies ranging from, like, you know, 80s, 90s, maybe even 70s. You know, the technology doesn't hold up. You look at something that once was considered cool, and you're like, this is terrible.
You're just like...
I still watch Dragonheart and just go, wow, I love Draco.
And it's just like, he almost, like, because of Draco, how long ago it was and how good it looks, and also just the quality of actor in Sean Connery.
Oh, freaking Sean Connery.
He almost earns number one, but...
Yeah, see, I wanted to remember when 1996.
96. So it's not incredibly old, but it's older than me. So
Only by a year.
only by a year, but still, that's impressive for the times. Because again, even Harry Potter, which was after me, still didn't look quite that good. And that could be budgets, but it's like Dragonheart. I don't think it was it probably was a major thing. The sequels weren't that big, but
Well, and not just the dragon, but the whole story of Dragonheart took a whole new spin on dragons. Because usually you think of dragons, you think, you know, oh, it's the big beast that a knight goes up against to save, you know, a damsel in distress. You know,
twist that whole formula.
Well, yeah, like you know, usually the dragons are the evil ones, but in Dragonheart, Draco was a good guy, and he was like, you know, he even says a dragon wouldn't hurt anybody unless they try to hurt him first.
And he's not only that, he's funny. He's witty. He's funny. You enjoy him.
Oh yeah, he's great.
And, you know, it's Sean Connery. His blade defends the helpless. His might upholds the weak. His word speaks only truth. And it's just Sean Connery. It's Sean Connery as a dragon.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
can't get any better than that. And again, Benedict Cumberbatch. You can get a little bit better. Well, and again, the splitting of the heart thing, where you
It's an interesting concept. Very
I
interesting.
love that concept of sharing a dragon's heart with someone.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would love to use that in a story of mine, but I don't know if that'd be considered like basically just stealing from Dragonheart, even if I tweaked
Everything
it a
is a
little.
remix. I talked about this in my film class on Tuesday.
I guess that's true. I
Literally
just don't want to
everything.
make it seem blatant.
For those of you who, I mean, sometimes it's blatant, and sometimes it's just complete thievery. But I mean,
That's Harry Potter.
Literally, no one cares as long as you tweak it just enough to make it your own thing. Like again, Star Wars and like Pulp Fiction, not Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill. These are the two we talked about in detail. Because Star Wars and Kill Bill take a lot from other movies in unique ways. Like there's copying. I could go on about this, but we're not going to talk about this. There's copying. There's maybe we won't talk about this tonight. But there are different ways that you can like remix quote unquote ideas. You know, you could do it if you want. But yeah, if you've never seen the movie, it's just kind of the concept is that in this medieval England, the dragons have the ability to cut their heart in half and share it with a human who's dying.
And through that, they share each other's like
strength
and pain. Yeah.
And the human cannot die unless the dragon dies.
So the humans are basically immortal.
Yeah, pretty much. But the problem is, in the first Dragonheart movie, the person they share this with, who was a good guy, pretty much immediately turns evil. Maybe he wasn't the greatest guy to begin with, because I think that kind of enhances
Yeah,
who you are. But
yeah.
he like immediately turns evil, and then it's up to Bowen, Dennis Quaid, great guy, to go with Draco the dragon, who so happens to be the dragon that shared his heart with him, and
well,
they
also
King Einan.
Yeah. And then there's also the concept of the constellation with the stars, the constellation of Draco, and that was, dragon heaven, basically. It's where the dragons would go when they die. And again, I thought that was a really neat, thing to think about, where it's like, oh, they made this constellation simply an arrangement of stars into something more, and that's what Draco ends up being named after, is that constellation.
It's pretty easy to do in mythology.
I know.
But Drake, I mean,
I love that.
It's a very nice story for, a kind of older movie, and it's got good effects and good action, too.
I still love it.
It's a great, we enjoy it.
That was one we watched a lot as kids.
Yes, because it's Dragon, and it was amazing. But on the same subject, Dragonheart, we can talk about the other two.
Yeah, oh yeah, never mind. I was about to say they're the same one, but never mind.
Nope, Drake is not.
Yeah.
We have the sequel, and then we have the sequel prequels.
Yeah.
Which we didn't know existed for a while.
Well, I knew about the third one. I didn't know about the fourth one at all.
I found out about the fourth one, or the third one, through an ad on YouTube. It's one of those unskippable ones, and I was just watching it, and it kind of looked like, I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And all of a sudden, you hear the voice of Ben Kingsley go, "A knight is sworn to valor," and then all of a sudden it says Dragonheart 3. I was like, what?
Another Dragonheart?
But we're going to talk about Drake first before we get to
first let's go, with number 2. With,
Drake, the offspring of Draco.
Dragonheart New Beginning, voiced by Robbie Benson, who was the Beast in the original Beauty and the Beast.
Was he now? Do we know him from anything else? I was about to say, who played him? I don't remember who played him.
I don't remember. That was just the only one I knew for sure, because the other dragons, were all voiced by big named actors, and I was like, well, who was Drake?
He played the Beast. Did not know that.
So I wouldn't exactly say he's a big name actor, but I mean, we've heard him.
He's probably done other things that we're not aware of.
Yeah, I'll have to look him up.
We're not the most cultured of swine.
But yeah, Dragonheart New Beginning, slightly cheesier, I think, than the first one.
I also think the same for the other two, even though they are good.
The other two, yeah, they were good, but had some kind of corny moments, which I mean is fine.
The other two took more fantasy elements.
Mm-hmm, they did.
They, a little bit more of magic and things like that. Whereas it seemed like Dragonheart 1 was more about dragons exist. And that's about it. That's about it. And they can do this thing with their heart. Whereas in so I guess we're not going to talk that much about A New Beginning. It's not the greatest. They also reuse shots from Dragonheart.
They did reuse shots.
It's almost cheating. Like, they were literally reusing footage.
Well, and there were a couple of times with Drake where his CGI basically wasn't the best. Like,
I think
you could tell it was kind of bad graphics.
DVD movies, and so.
Yeah. I mean, it was still a pretty.
Drago had
kind
story. Of the same thing. Drago was also significantly smaller than Draco. I'm gonna point that out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drago in the third and fourth one.
Drago is. He's not the father. He's the guardian.
Yeah, he was the guardian.
Because in the third one is kind of the telling of how the dragons got to England, and came through.
Basically, they came
comet.
From a comet.
Drago, the guardian dragon, who is voiced by Ben Kingsley, who I honestly thought, okay, I kind of like the movie. I honestly think Ben Kingsley kind of phoned it in with Drago. I feel like he did not give his best performance with
Probably,
Drago.
yeah. I was a little disappointed.
There was some moments where I was like, Ben, are you really in the booth right now? Like, are you sipping on a martini right now, just kind of like reading your lines? He did some good jobs. Like, he did some good stuff. But I honestly felt like he was not fully into it. Patrick Stewart, I felt, was into it. Because in the fourth one, Drago comes back, but he's replaced in the voice by Patrick Stewart.
Well, like, they completely changed Drago's design in the fourth one. I don't know if it was to try... Yeah.
It looked the same to me.
I don't know if it was to try and, like, make him look older, because it was, like, a few years into the future.
It was quite a few years into the
future. Yeah.
They probably tried to make him look older.
But, yeah, I feel like they completely changed him.
Yeah, I felt that, I felt that Patrick Stewart put more effort into it than...
See, once again, a couple more big-name actors playing, these dragons, Ben Kingsley and Patrick Stewart, which did absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I felt that, they were decent movies. They did not hold up to the premise set by the first one. But, of course, I enjoyed Dragonheart 4 solely because there's shots in the background of paintings of Draco.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I was like, look, there it is. Paul just pulled it up. There's that paint. I saw it on the wall. I'm like, that's Draco right there. Because I was so hoping, and because I had not seen it. I was on my mission. I came, Morgan and Paul showed me the third and fourth one. I'm like, please let there be a Draco cameo, please. And there kind of was. He wasn't present, but he was there. And
it was just on a painting.
Because he was one of the baby dragons who then grew up to be guardians of this world. And I was like, it's Draco. He's over there on the wall. I noticed him immediately, and I was so happy to see him because I love Draco.
Well, and they once again brought in the kind of the heart-sharing thing in the fourth one. They didn't, or I guess they did have it in the third one.
They had it in the third one because then they inherited it in the fourth one.
Yeah, that's one thing that I thought was really interesting is Drago shared his heart with Gareth, who was a knight in the third one.
He was not a knight.
I guess he wasn't a knight yet. He was trying to become a knight.
He then later became king. So I guess
he became king. So he surpassed that.
He surpassed what he wanted.
But then in the future, he has a son who later also his son has twins.
Very Luke and Leia like.
Yeah, but then because of this strange abnormality, the twins actually end up developing scales, one on their skin, and they have these kind of supernatural abilities. The boy.
He's incredibly strong.
Yeah, he has like super strength, and then the girl twin has
fire.
Yeah, she has the ability to wield fire.
And she becomes queen of the Vikings, which I think honestly makes her incredibly badass.
Yeah, she was pretty darn cool.
Because if you become queen of the Vikings, like Vikings, you don't mess with Vikings.
No, you don't.
For brief history lesson, one of my favorite little lessons in history, there was a moment where the Vikings, they weren't being invaded. They did a lot of invading.
Yeah.
But they were once on the defensive, the Vikings. And there was one dude on this one bridge. It's very Gandalf. It wasn't a very big bridge, but this one dude is on this bridge, and I think it's the British, were trying to kill him. This guy was busting them all up, and the only reason that they killed this guy is because they snuck under the bridge and stabbed him from underneath, the little twits.
Oh.
Like, I'm like, that is a dirty move, because it's very Gandalf. He says, you shall not pass, and he just freaking taken him out, no problem. And then they killed him, and it was so sad.
Oh, wow.
We watched a video on it that was narrated by Ian Holm, where he literally said this will decide the fate of Middle Earth, because technically in Viking, in Scandinavian mythology, Midgard means Middle Earth. So they had Ian Holm narrating it, and he said, I had the fate of Middle Earth. I'm like,
are you kidding?
Of course he said that. Of course he would say that. They did it on freaking purpose.
Of course they did. But yeah, we love the Dragonheart dragons. Draco is the best. Drake and Drago are pretty good.
Drago I felt was better in the fourth one. He didn't do as much in the fourth one, but I think Patrick Stewart did a better job with the performance than Ben Kingsley. Love Ben Kingsley. Nothing against him. Love him.
But frankly, Dragonheart is just truly amazing.
It's almost a guilty pleasure. Like the second, third, and fourth ones are almost guilty pleasures for us because we enjoy them. They're just nice little movies. Not the greatest. We like them.
Yeah, we still like them.
We like Dragonheart a lot because it's just really, honestly, good movie.
Well, we can bring up the theme for Dragonheart also in our soundtrack episode. I can't get enough of that theme.
It's such beautiful music.
I remember showing...
And when you combine it with the Fellowship theme, it sounds pretty darn awesome.
I remember showing the movie for the first time to Paul, and it had been years since I'd seen it, and the music started playing near the end, and I started getting teary-eyed. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's very melodic, very beautiful. We are big fans of musical themes, of movies. They elicit emotional response. We'll talk about this more, but honestly, we will rave about it.
Oh, yes.
For an hour and a half. We love soundtracks.
Well, let's move on to our next dragon.
Are we going to do it in order, or are we just kind of going to go as we feel?
We can go kind of random if you want.
Let's do next best. I mean, I think we should honestly do next best.
Sure, let's do next best.
Devon and Cornwall.
Devon and Cornwall.
Quest for Camelot. I've heard a very different movie from its book. Heard the book is incredibly dark.
I didn't even know it was a book.
Whereas Quest for Camelot, the movie,
is incredibly lighthearted.
Very much not. Very nice movie.
Any Quest for Camelot fans out there, comment, let us know. I saw that movie for the first time in 3rd grade. I had my teacher
really
was
3rd grade?
Yeah, it was 3rd grade. Because my teacher was a big medieval time, pretty much buff, really. She taught us so much about medieval history, medieval times, and I think that's kind of where I grew to really like it. And we read different stories and books, like for story time, whatever, from medieval times. And she showed us that movie in class, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And later, somehow, I think we rented it from Blockbuster. That's a blast from the past as well. Mm-hmm. And I showed it to Austin, and he pretty much loved it just as much as me.
Oh, okay, that's why I knew his voice. Sorry, I'm looking at the voices of Devon and Cornwall. So, in Quest for Camelot, if you've not seen it, Excalibur gets stolen by an ex-knight named Ruber, and this girl, she was the daughter of a fallen knight named Kaylee. She goes on a quest to find the sword so that Ruber can't get it because he wants to be king. And she comes across...
and her father was one of the Knights of the Round Table,
yeah,
she wants to be a knight.
Yes, she comes across Garrett, who is blind. He's a hermit. He lives in the forest, and they go on, and they meet this dragon who has 2 heads. Or is it a dragon with 2 heads, or is it 2 dragons with 1 body? It's 2 dragons with 1 body.
It's 2 dragons with 1 body.
Devin and Cornwall, they say their explanation is literally they're the reasons cousins shouldn't marry. Voiced by Eric Idle, from, if you know him from Monty Python. Very clever, witty British humor. And then Cornwall, Don Rickles, Mr. Potato Head.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
I never knew that. Many other things, but yes, he is.
And of course, now I hear it, now that I think about it. Are you serious?
Same thing. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because I know we knew who Cornwall's voice was, but yeah.
As Cornwall was obvious.
Yeah, so Devin and Cornwall, they're hilarious. Like, whereas Smaug is evil and very, very British. And then there's Sean Connery's Draco, who's funny, proper, but he's very regal. He's a very regal dragon. He stands tall, 4 legs, very sight to see. Whereas Devin and Cornwall, on the opposite end of the spectrum, is this itty, human-sized dragon. One with a very long neck, the other's very stumpy. And they are hilarious.
We're going to Camelot. Oh, the restaurants, the theaters.
Waitresses, the actresses. Pierce Brosnan was King Arthur.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, they are just...
and Urkel was Bladebeak.
Wait, what?
I thought we covered this. Urkel was Bladebeak. Jaleel White,
oh
Urkel
my
was Bladebeak.
Word.
Sorry, we're looking at IMDb right now. There's a chicken. Ruber has this magic... The main villain, Ruber, has this magic potion that can, combine weapons with organic matter. And so he literally throws a chicken in with a hand axe and makes Bladebeak. It's like a speaking axe. Speaking chicken axe. That's voiced by Jaleel White, also known as Urkel, for those of you.
For some reason, I didn't remember that. I don't know why.
But yes,
But yeah, back to Devin and Cornwall. They're just, the opposite of everything you think a dragon should be. They sing, they dance.
They can't fly or breathe fire.
Yeah, they're kind of cowardly a little bit at first. They hide from other dragons.
How do you feel about interpretive dance? The funny thing is, okay, here's the funny thing that I think. Because, Kaylee in and of herself has a nice voice.
That's actually not her real voice.
Exactly. But, when she's speaking.
Oh, when she's speaking, nice. Okay.
And when Carrie Elwes sings, well, he's not singing, but when Garrett sings, you can tell immediately that is not Carrie Elwes.
No.
And I don't know what Kaylee sounds like when she sings, because they have different voice actors for her as well. But Eric Idle and Don Rickles actually do their singing. They're not exactly, well, they are singing. They're actually singing. So it's kind of funny that they are singing, because usually you'd think the old guys wouldn't sing. Maybe because they're older actors, they do sing. I don't know. But they do their own singing.
Yeah, their song, If I Didn't Have You, is
one of our favorites.
We sing that all the time. And actually, me and Paul do it with each other as well.
And on Morgan's channel, there is a... Oh, wait, no, you didn't do a full video. You just did a bit in your crack video.
Yeah, it was just a bit in my crack video.
Should have been in a crack video between Smaug and Thorin of If I Didn't Have You.
Which, was kind of funny.
Smaug is Cornwall and Thorin is Devin.
Yep.
Which doesn't fit Smaug either, I guess. And it's funny because Don Rickles, if you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Potato Head, he's got this gruff American voice, whereas Eric Idle is this, almost pompous... almost buffoonish British voice, because he's from Monty Python. So.
Oh, excusez-moi, Mr. Self-Denial.
And...
But yeah, they argue about, basically saying if I didn't have you, if we weren't connected, I would do all these incredible things, and, basically just throughout most of the movie, they're like, oh, I wish we weren't together, in one body, I wish we were separated. And then by the end of the movie, they actually learn to accept each other, and they're like, yep, we're in this together, this is how we are.
And they stick to it. Then they get separated, and then they come back together, and they have one body.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the movie, it's incredible. It's a really
great
good story.
Little movie. It's so good.
It's fun. The music is great. I absolutely love the music.
It's got good music. Almost Disney level music.
Just for the heck of it, I'll also post a video of Devin and Cornwell's song, just because we love it so much.
Yeah, and we can make all the inside jokes we want, but it won't be as fun for you. Just go see the movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Or look up a best of Devin and Cornwell on YouTube, because it's probably every freaking scene that they're in. And it's
probably.
really funny.
But yeah, they're just funny. I love them so much.
And it's got a pretty decent cast. I mean, you got I don't know who Kaylin is, but Kaylee.
No.
But you got Carrie Elwes. You got Gary Oldman as Ruber. You got Eric Idle and Don Rickles.
Don Knotts.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan. He's not in it as much, but
I'm sorry. Well, and then they used a Celine Dion song in there too.
yes, Celine Dion does actually the singing for that.
I thought that was actually her. Which
Is that her song though?
yeah.
Is that her song? Okay.
Well, she sings it with Josh Groban. Remember?
Yeah, but is that her song? Like, did she? Write
I don't.
It is her song.
It actually is her song. Yeah, her song "The Prayer" is in it, which that was the
Briefly.
That was the first time I'd ever heard it, and I thought it was an original Quest for Camelot song, and then
Nope.
I heard it somewhere else, and I was thinking, wait a second, is this from Quest for Camelot? And later found out,
it's
no,
just a sad thing that we
it's just
did
a
not
Celine Dion
have.
song.
It's a sad thing we did not have Josh Groban's part though.
Oh.
So I'll take Josh Groban any day.
Austin has a bit of a man crush on Josh Groban.
I'm not Catholic, but I would become Catholic for Josh Groban.
Oh my.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
He's got an amazing voice.
Oh my gosh. I think that's one of the best things I've ever heard.
All right, yeah.
No, I mean, I'll give it that. Josh Groban is amazing.
He's amazing. Honestly, I listen to him all day. But yeah, we got
guess
Devin
so.
and Cornwall. That's Devin and Cornwall. Let's go look at our
At our list.
Are
Sorry.
these from your anime?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, about this? Parthenax and Alduin.
Skyrim.
Have you actually encountered Parthenax?
No. Not that I can remember. I didn't get very far into the game.
You want to know who does? Actually, you've never seen Parthenax, but he's got a dragon voice, you know?
Yeah.
You know who voices Parthenax? Keep this in mind when you actually get to him. The guy who does the voice of Parthenax. This guy does the voice of Mario!
What?
Yes. Paul, while you're over there, pull up a video of Parthenax, please. Paul is in the room, but he is currently busy. He's, he says he's doing homework, but he's currently Googling all pictures of the dragons. Okay, he's doing his homework.
He's listening to us.
Yeah, but Parthenax, I don't know, I've forgotten a lot. I haven't done a lot of Skyrim lately.
Mm-hmm.
I've been busy playing other games like Spider-Man and Battlefront and God of War. They're brothers. Parthenax and Alduin, they're brothers.
Oh.
Paul's gonna play a quick little soundbite. Y'all probably can't hear, but this is mostly for Morgan, so she can hear. This is the voice of Mario. From, like, you know, Nintendo Mario. He's doing this. But yeah, they're brothers. Alduin, like, the bringer of darkness. His return signifies the end times. Hang on a second.
What?
That's Mario. It's Mario.
Are you
Okay,
kidding
you can pause it now, Paul. Yeah, but I also really like what they did with Skyrim because the dragons have their own language. I don't know if they fully developed. I mean, it seems like they fully developed it. Maybe not completely, but they did come up with a word like Dove, which is like dragon. And there's Dovahkiin, which means dragonborn. And then
Dova.
And then you've got the words. You know, you got the Fusro Da. Everyone knows the Fusro Da.
Fusro Da!
And then everybody else, you know, we got Yol Torshul, which is fire breath, my favorite. I love using that on literally anything that's not fire resistant. It's my favorite thing to use. You've got plenty of others that I don't know the words for, honestly. I haven't played Skyrim in a while. But
one of these days, I want to learn the Skyrim theme. Just because it'd be cool to sing.
yes, also, like, if you know the Skyrim theme is actually sung in the Dova language.
Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin.
It sounds
That's
amazing.
all I know.
It's all freaking amazing. And unfortunately, you can't find this on the internet. But you combine that theme with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my word.
You just get pumped up. That's what I listened to. Actually, no, it was not. I think it was. No, I just listened to the normal Dovahkiin song when I went to take the ACT. Actually, no, my senior project. When I went to take my senior when I do my senior project, I listened to that to get myself pumped up.
Well, we listened to that even before we really knew what Skyrim was.
Well,
We
I'd
played the
seen
game.
people play Skyrim.
Yeah,
I
but
saw a
we
little
never
bit of
played
Toby.
it.
I had another guy I used to watch who played Skyrim, and so I watched him. He modded it though. I want to mod Skyrim so bad.
Yeah, but we had never played it.
No, we had not. I got playing it when I got my new gaming laptop. I got the special edition.
Paul was the one that got me playing
I need
it.
to go back to it. Skyrim's fun. Skyrim's a fun game. Big open world thing. It's always snowing though. That's my one. Well, there's some areas where it's not.
Yeah,
but
some areas it doesn't snow. We want to get Skyrim for the Switch.
yes, they have a Switch and they want to get Skyrim for it because it looks like it'd be very much fun. You can take it with you on the go.
And then there's Alduin, who just is freaky as heck.
Alduin, bringer of darkness. He's I like that. I like the designs for him too. Like very kind of just jagged and evil looking. And he resurrects dragons, and you, as the Dragonborn, have to go kill them. And Alduin has a cool voice too. And Parthenox's brother is actually pretty much responsible for. Alduin was actually sent through time to get like this. Talk about passing it on to the next generation. When Alduin was first ending the world, the three people who were fighting him were like, well, screw this, let's just send him into the future and let them deal with it. That's literally their solution. We'll send him forward in time, and then when he shows up, it'll be the end days. It's like, well, great, thanks for that. Way to just throw your...
Jerks.
Talk about passing responsibility.
No kidding.
This thing is kind of funny. I mean, it's like, honestly, it's one of those things of what do you do, but I just think it's like, pass on responsibility, why not you? Deal with it yourself! Then it's your job as the player to fight Alduin, to get strong enough to fight Alduin. And Parthenox helps you with that. He teaches you some of the shouts, tells you about the Elder Scrolls and where to get them. Actually, he doesn't tell you where to get them, but you have to find that out.
And they just look incredible for video game dragons.
They do look really cool. I saw a thing recently where someone somehow took the animation of the dragons, I think it was actually particularly Alduin, and like 3D showed it on a table, like in real life.
I remember
like,
that.
It was really cool looking. They look really cool, and honestly, the dragons of Skyrim are so problematic. You will fast travel anywhere, and they will show up.
Pretty much.
Which is great if you want to farm dragon souls, because you got to kill the dragons, and then you absorb their soul, and then you can use them to unlock shouts and magical abilities. So it's like if you want to farm them, yeah, go ahead and fast travel. They'll just show up and ruin your day, kill NPCs around you, and the guards are like, "Wow, there's a dragon." It's like, yeah, I just slaughtered it. Now let me rule your town. You saw what I can do. At least Whiterun had some smarts and let me in. Like, we do important things.
Pretty much.
Skyrim's a fun game because you can do more than it's like you can. It's RPG.
I love Skyrim.
Very RPG. You know, choose your path. You know, like Dungeons and Dragons, and probably the inspiration, of course, for the Elder Scrolls series. Because they're all RPGs. Like, in some way, you choose your path, you know, and you can do so much. There's so much customization. Of course, some work more than others. You know, you probably shouldn't be I don't know. Probably shouldn't be like a mage with heavy armor. Could work if you enchant it well enough, but...
Probably.
But, you know, you can customize. Like, I, for one, I'm a Argonian. That's like a lizard person. What I think Dungeons and Dragon equivalent would be Dragonborn, but you can't have Dragonborn because that's an actual concept in Skyrim.
That's what you are.
That's what you are, yeah. But it's an Argonian. It's like a walking lizard. I look beastly. I got super awesome horns and things like that. And I'm kind of I like light armor because I'm kind of stealthy. I'm actually pretty darn stealthy. But I use magic in one hand. My left hand's my magic hand, usually like healing or fire. I do a lot. I like to do damage. I don't like to take hits. And then I have my sword in my other hand, and I'm fully decked out in glass armor, which sounds... Glass armor doesn't sound very good. Paul, back me up on this. Glass armor.
Glass armor is amazing.
Glass armor is amazing.
Beautiful.
It looks great, too. Like, I had one guy who... I was a guard. I was wearing full glass armor. It's like the closest thing you can get to, like, royal armor. And this guy pretty much says I look bad. And I'm like... Do you see me? I look amazing.
If he does say so himself.
The problem is sometimes, like, my thing is I base things off of how they look. Like, I kept the glass armor because it actually is one thing that looks good on my Argonian. Because, like, other armor doesn't look good on my Argonian. Leather armor looked good on my Argonian. Mm-hmm. Studded leather armor looks good. But, like, other armor, like heavy plate mail, it's like it didn't look good. I also don't like helmets. Because I got awesome scales, and you can't hide that.
No, you can't.
So I'm like literally, actually I do have a helmet now, but
nice.
I can still mostly see my face. So I used to wear like circlets, so that way I could still have my hair or my horns. Not my hair. I don't have hair. I have horns.
But yeah, so that's Skyrim and the dragons from it. Really quick, just so I can get out of the way.
Yeah, you can get your bet.
Yeah. So Austin doesn't know about this because he's not an anime fan.
Nope, sorry.
But I want to quickly bring up the dragons from Dragon Ball Z. We have Shenron and Purunga. Shenron's the big one. In Dragon Ball, there are these things called, kind of self-explanatory, the Dragon Balls, which are a bunch of orange orbs, and each one has a star in it, and they add up to 7. And there's 7 Dragon Balls. And when they are collected and all brought together, anyone can use them to make a wish. And when they are brought together, Shenron is materialized, basically, and he comes forth and he's the one that grants you the wish. And they pretty much use Shenron's power frequently throughout the series, usually to resurrect characters that have died or been killed. But then he only granted, was it 3 wishes, Paul? Shenron granted 3 wishes?
At first, it was only 1.
Okay.
And
At first it was only 1.
as they came back with more Namekians and Dende became Kami, Purunga be able to do 2 wishes.
No, I'm talking Shenron, not Purunga.
Shenron was able to do 2 wishes.
Remember
Okay.
this piece of crap in the movie?
But yeah, so Shenron originally did 1 wish, and then later he granted 2 wishes. And once the wishes were granted, depending on the wish, because some of them were beyond Shenron's power, the Dragon Balls would basically lose their power and would scatter across the earth. So then later they'd have to find them again. Which I think that's kind of cool. That's taken a lot out of Japanese mythology. They believed that the dragons were very wise, had a lot of knowledge, and basically could grant wishes. And so that was pretty, like I said, reflective of their culture. But then eventually, in the show, they come to kind of a crossroads where they need something more than, just Shenron's power. And they find out that this kind of alien planet called Namek has another set of Dragon Balls. And that is where Purunga comes in. And he basically grants greater wishes.
3.
Purunga grants 3 wishes, and that's a lot of where they are able to resurrect people who have already died. Because with Shenron, they couldn't resurrect anyone who had already died previously, but Purunga could. He could resurrect anyone who had already died once before, or multiple times. And he's kind of a bigger sized dragon than Shenron. Shenron is the one that a lot of people mostly associate with Dragon Ball Z, which is pretty cool. I just wanted to get that out of the way, just because those are 2 dragons that I'm familiar with. Austin, however, is not. Maybe one day he will be working on that. But yeah, so that's the Dragon Ball Z dragons. Getting that out of the way. Which one should we talk about next?
Next, let me see here. Mushu.
Oh, dear old Mushu.
Mushu, again on that side of not really wise, but absolutely hilarious dragons. We got the littlest one of all, Mushu.
We have Mushu, voiced by Eddie Murphy.
Okay, they're making a live-action remake of Mulan, and honestly, I don't even want a CG Mushu. I want Eddie Murphy in the cheapest dragon costume they can find, full height, with his face sticking out of it. I don't care. I just want Eddie. It's like with the Lion King CG remake. It's got James Earl Jones, right? Well, we can't have Mushu without Eddie Murphy. Like,
I don't even know if they're including Mushu.
We're getting Genie without Robin Williams. Without Robin Williams, or getting at Will Smith. So he's gonna put his own take on it, but it's like Mushu. If he's not in the movie, like, why are you even going to see that?
I don't even know if they're including Mushu.
Mushu.
They're not having Shang either.
What's the point of this movie?
I don't know.
It needs Mushu.
I think it might be sticking more to the original Mulan story.
And
I don't.
Mushu. I don't even. Again, I would be happy with just Eddie Murphy in the crappiest dragon costume that I've ever seen. Because it's just, he's hilarious. He's got so many classic lines.
He's everyone's favorite little guardian dragon.
I am. Who was voiced by a white guy in the sequel.
I know, that was disappointing.
Very disappointed as a white guy. It's not even a black guy, it was a white guy doing an Eddie Murphy impression. You want to talk about whitewashing there.
Yeah.
But Eddie Murphy, Mushu, he's full of himself, but he's got a heart, and he's funny. Again, some great one-liners and great parts of the movie come from him.
Yeah. Love Mushu. And even though I'm not typically fond of, Asian-style dragons with the big mustaches and what else. I was fine with it on Mushu. I know obviously it's China and he's supposed to look that way, but
supposed to be funny.
He didn't look ridiculous. He just looked kind of cute and he was funny.
Oh yeah, he's an absolutely classic Disney character right there.
Well, kind of while we're on subject of Disney dragons, there's also Maleficent.
I don't have much to say on her really. She turned into a dragon for the last 5 minutes of her life, so.
True. But seriously though, the way that she looked in the cartoon, she was scary. And the sound that she made, when her jaw was trying to snap at Prince Philip, that was a scary noise. I don't even know how to describe it. I was a little disappointed that they didn't really have her turn to the dragon in the live-action remake of Maleficent.
They had her other dude turn into
Yeah, her bird turned into the dragon. I was like, no, that's Maleficent's bit. It would have been so much cooler, especially if it was Angelina Jolie turning into a dragon. Come on. I think that would have looked... That would look pretty awesome.
Not my greatest not my favorite live-action Disney remake. But I like Angelina Jolie. I thought she was pretty good.
She was a perfect Maleficent.
She's got the cheekbones for it automatically.
Well, in the scene at Aurora's basically birthday party, she just walked in and went, well. I'm like, that's Maleficent.
Yeah, her Maleficent very, very, very good.
She was perfect. That scene was verbatim from the original.
The rest of the cast was questionable.
A little bit.
Like Umbridge as Flora.
Yeah.
Threw me off, and the CG wasn't that great. It's just
I don't even remember if they actually had those names. I don't think they were Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather.
Either way, that's who I'm gonna call them because I don't care because it's Flora, Fauna. But yeah, Maleficent, she is like that.
I didn't
original.
mind Elle Fanning as Aurora.
She was fine.
They stuck closer to her age.
The king was. I only knew him as what's his bucket from the A-Team, so I couldn't take him seriously at all.
I can't remember his name either. Yeah, I felt like in the cartoon, Aurora did not look 16. She looked like she was in her 20s.
No Disney princess. Do you really think Ariel is 13 when you watch that movie? Or however old she's supposed to be. How old is she supposed to be in the movie?
She was 16 too.
She's supposed to be 16? You really think she's 16 in that movie?
I can kind of believe it.
You look at it, it's like she's not 16.
Yeah, no, Aurora definitely did not look 16, but in the live-action remake, I'm pretty sure Elle Fanning was at least 15, probably 16 years old, and looked a lot closer to her age.
She looked closer to the age. And of course, the thing at the end, we saw coming. It was kind of obvious. The true love kiss thing was not going to be, because it's like they're not doing this for no reason.
Well, no, wasn't it kind of shortly after the whole Frozen thing? It's like the whole...
Yeah, so we saw that coming. I was like, well, this ain't...
The whole true love thing wasn't between a guy and a girl this time, it was between sisters.
Yeah, so it was kind of obvious coming.
Yeah, so that time it was between basically pseudo-mom and
then there
daughter.
It was funny because they were kind of like, let's change the story of Maleficent. She's actually the good guy, and she's the one who's going to wake Sleeping Beauty up. But then there was Beauty and the Beast. Like, screw it, we're just doing it in a complete carbon copy.
Pretty much.
Except with a couple tweaks here and there.
Yeah, there's a few tweaks, but I like the tweaks.
Let's talk about Toothless.
Toothless!
I have not seen the second How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh my gosh, we've got to show you the second How to Train Your Dragon.
I should see it because the third one's coming out and it actually looks pretty good.
Oh, I can't wait for the third one.
It looks pretty badass too. Like some of those. Honestly, the first one is some very good dragon fight choreography.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's another thing, taking it away from the typical dragons or evil kind of thing. They believe that dragons were evil in the beginning, but then the main character...
misunderstood, like Loki.
But then the main character, Hiccup, comes across this Night Fury, which they believe is the most dangerous dragon, and later finds out... Yeah, dragons are actually nice. They're nothing like they believed they were.
Although these are not anything like the books from which they were adapted, I'm told.
Once again, another thing I didn't know was based off a book.
The dragons are like yay big in the book.
Oh, they're little,
They're
huh?
very small, and Toothless is actually toothless.
Yeah, instead of retractable teeth.
Yes, he literally has no teeth. Also, that bit with him in the trailer trying to seduce that other Night Fury is hilarious because it's very...
The Light Fury.
The Light Fury. Because it's like birds. Like, have you ever seen Planet Earth with that weird bird that, like, jumps around and has this hood over his face? Very reminiscent of that.
It is so based off of the weird mating rituals of birds.
I'm like, and that's probably exactly what they were going for. I'm like, this is actually pretty funny to look at.
That like sold me on that one because I just think it's funny to see.
Because Toothless is cute. Like he looks cute. He's like, I think they actually took his design, like made him look like a dog. Like his design. So he's cute. Like you literally want a Toothless plushie. You just want to pet him. Like Smaug, you don't want to pet him. Draco, you don't want to pet him. He's a good dragon. Mushu, you just want to kind of throw around to see what he'll do. But Toothless, you just want to pet him. He looks soft and plushy. Mm-hmm. But he's also kick butt. He can kick some serious butt.
Oh, and I kind of don't want to say this just because I haven't seen it, but he actually gets some super cool new abilities in the second movie, which make him even more amazing.
His head like glows, doesn't it?
I think so.
But that's, of course, not just the only thing.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen that.
And also,
one
can we talk about Hiccup for just a second? Hiccup has what I call Simba complex, where his father... Who's his father? Who's the voice of his father? You know who it is. That Scottish guy you love.
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. He's super Scottish. Like, he's incredibly Scottish. In the movie, he's disproportionately massive. And he's got this very deep Scottish voice. And his mother, Kate Blanchett, with this very... She's Galadriel. She's got this voice, but it's very... It's
How would you know what she sounds like?
Well, I don't know what she sounds like in the movie, but Kate Blanchett herself has this very powerful voice.
She's Scottish, also.
And she has this Scottish accent, apparently. But she still has she has a powerful voice, whether she's Galadriel, Hela, or whatever her name is in the movie, because I've not seen it. I'm sorry. I'll see it. But... And then you've got Hiccup. I forget the guy's name, but he does not match up.
Nope.
And the reason I call this
incredibly American.
And the reason why I call this Simba complex is because Simba, you got James Earl Jones, man. You got
big black guy.
The deepest of deep. Well, maybe not the deepest of deep, but the most. He's got this great voice. I don't remember the name of his mother, or at least the actress, but she's also got this like powerful, deep African voice. And then you've got Matthew Broderick, the whitest of white men. It's like it does not add up, and so to me that was always funny. And Hiccup I forget the guy's name, but he's got that voice that you hear and you immediately know it's him.
Well, and he Neville Longbottomed.
He did.
He went from a dorky looking kid to
Chris Evans. Well, he didn't Chris Evans. He Captain America. You grow a beard, you become badass. Like he's a shot in the trailer. Everyone's like.
Well, not just that, but in the second movie, you look at him and go, wow.
Yeah, he got hot, didn't he? Even though he's an animated character, but they animated characters.
There are plenty of people that are attracted to animated characters. I'm not even going to deny
Whether that's weird or not is up to you.
I've seen people admit that they had a crush on Kovu when they were little. A
lion. The lion from Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Kovu from Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Hey, he had the generic Disney voice, but sure, we'll go with that. Well, literally, it's that generic Disney voice guy who did all the on Disney Channel commercials. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's literally that guy. It's the same guy. I looked it up.
I'm just admitting, I know it's a thing. I'm not gonna deny it. And
you know what? Animated characters are supposed to look attractive. I mean, whether it's like I like the ones that are more human looking. I'm not talking. I'm like anime with the ginormous eyes and the very pointed faces.
Not all of them look that way.
I know, but still. I don't think it's weird. It's a little weird. Depends on how far you take it, but it's a little weird.
Yeah, and Toothless just gets more and more awesome, more and more cute. There's a video that came out, I think about a month or so ago, with Kit Harrington. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, he's Jon Snow. And he's one of the characters, I'm blanking his name now, from the second movie. And I'm assuming he's coming back in the third one because he did this promotional movie. But it's pretend auditions with him and Toothless, and it is super funny. And I'll see, that's probably on YouTube. I'll include that in the description. I never showed you that, did I?
No, I don't think you did.
Oh, well, I'll have to show you that when we're done here. Because it's super funny, and obviously, mostly it's probably just Kit Harington just talking to nobody. Just obviously acting, like he's supposed to.
That's what you do when you're a voice actor most of the time. You just kind of stand in a booth and don't talk to anybody.
But yeah, he's probably just walking around talking to nobody, and they're filming this. Like, we'll just digitally add in Toothless later. But yeah, I'll include that in the description as well. It's super funny. Toothless is amazing. I like Toothless. Now, to kind of go back to some more in the live-action realm, basically, of movies and kind of impressive-looking dragons. First of all, this one is not very well known, I don't think. But the movie Reign of Fire.
These dragons looked cool. They weren't very present, and this movie's not that great.
Well, I say you saw blips of them, and then you only saw the dragon like fully for only a few minutes, it seems.
Maximum. Like, you saw them every now and then so often.
But they still looked quite impressive. They were menacing.
That's probably the reason why they look so good, is because they're like, well, if we save our budget and not show them as much as possible, then we can make them look really cool. But yeah, they were creepy. They made this weird hissing noise.
Oh yeah.
They did roar and growl, but it was this weird hissing noise, and they were like wyverns, but like they crawled really low and they were creepy looking. At least the male one was. You didn't see too many of the females, but the male one was huge. And
if you're not familiar with the movie,
it's not the greatest movie.
It's
a lot of unintelligible ramblings from Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Who never wears a shirt.
Nope.
Okay, probably.
He
looks horrible.
Yeah,
he looks horrible.
Yeah, he doesn't look great. It's in a post-apocalyptic
Gerard
world.
Butler's in that one as well.
Oh yeah, Gerard Butler is in that one.
He does.
It's in a post-apocalyptic world where dragons basically, it's almost like the Balrog type thing in Lord of the Rings, where they
dug too deep.
They dug too deep, basically, and awoken these dragons that literally just appeared out of nowhere, and they started appearing all over the world.
They woke one dragon, which was the male.
They woke one dragon, the alpha male. The rest of the dragons started springing up everywhere, and they burned pretty much like most of the world to the ground, killed a lot of people, and basically this world is now being run by dragons.
The premise was good.
Yeah, the premise is good.
The execution wasn't that great. Like, honestly, it was pretty...
Yeah.
I used to like it. I still kind of like it. It's just not
the movie's based around this group of survivors somewhere, I think, in England, and basically just them trying to survive these dragons.
Eventually, they take them down.
Yeah, they take down the alpha male.
Christian Bale is an action hero. Christian Bale.
It's not the greatest movie. It has
but the dragons are cool.
Bits.
The dragons are cool. Mostly because, again, I think they saved their budget.
But that dragon was...
He was creepy.
Terrifying.
He was really creepy.
Terrifying.
There seems to be a fine line between showing the monster and not showing the monster, because that was many people's problem with Godzilla, with the new Godzillas. They didn't show him. They didn't show him enough. And then there's this new movie. It's like, all we're gonna show is the monsters in this movie.
Pretty much.
And 11, because she's in it. Millie Bobby Brown is in Godzilla, King of Monsters with King Ghidorah. Oh, that's a dragon we could talk about that we don't know anything about.
I was gonna say, I mentioned him to you before.
King Ghidorah, he's a 3-headed dragon that breathes lightning. He looks pretty darn sweet.
Well, and you don't really know about this one, but then there's Tiamat, which you hear about him a lot, especially like in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I know about Bahamut.
Yeah, there's Bahamut.
The Platinum Dragon.
Tiamat has 5 heads.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's like a beholder.
Basically,
dragon.
Bahamut is like the dragon of good. Tiamat is the dragon of evil.
Cool.
Basically.
So he's 5 heads.
Yeah, 5 heads. Freaky looking, and they're all different colors too.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like dragons.
He's a cool dragon.
He's evil. See, again, the bad guys get the cool stuff. Okay?
Right.
Evil dragon gets 5 heads. How many heads does Bahamut have? He's 1 head.
Bahamut has 1.
He's got 1 head. He's a good guy. Tiamat is a bad guy. 5 heads. I always have said that the bad guys get the better stuff.
Yes,
good guys win, but the bad guys always have cooler stuff.
Yes, you have said that.
I've said that. I mean, does the Jedi get to shoot lightning out of their fingers? No. You know what they do? They lift rocks. That's all they do is they lift rocks, at least in the movies. Can you please branch out more? That's the only thing I have with the new movies. Branch out more. The Clone Wars has given you so much material. Branch out more. I wish Star Wars had dragons. They have crate dragons. They don't have wings. They're mostly found on Tatooine, but they do have crate dragons.
Mm-hmm. I wish Lord of the Rings had more dragons.
Well, they're all dead.
I know.
Pretty sure.
There's also Saphira.
We don't have to go through all of
I
these,
know.
you know.
I mean,
And really, I've never read the books. I've only
yeah,
seen
so
the
granted,
movie.
we don't know much about Saphira.
Seeing the movie is an affront, apparently, to all the books stand for, right,
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah, Paul's over here seething. I mean, I was just gonna say, she did look pretty impressive.
She looked good as a
in my
movie
opinion.
dragon. She looked good.
Again, I don't know about.
Rachel Weisz did a good job.
Yeah,
That's her voice.
she did sound good. Rachel Weisz was good. That's really all that we have on hers because we haven't read the books. The movie isn't great whether you read the book or not.
Yeah, it's not great either way.
If you read the book, you absolutely hate it and refuse to talk about it, like my husband. If you didn't read the books and you saw it, it's just not that great anyway.
Sorry. I have not read the books, but I absolutely just laugh hysterically whenever we bring up that movie around anybody who's read the books. Paul's looking at me like he's going to kill me.
This may be our last episode, folks.
This may be my last broadcast.
You know, there are two movies that you cannot bring up with Paul. It's Aragon and Avatar: The Last Airbender remake.
Nope.
Which you can't really bring
Nope.
that one up with us either because we watched the show and we absolutely
It's just
hate
not a good
it.
movie to begin with.
Yeah, same thing. That's not a good movie
We
at
were
all
okay,
anyway.
side tangent. We talked about this last night. M. Night Shyamalan does better with movies when there is a smaller cast.
Uh-huh.
We watched Unbreakable last night, which is really good. Like, we've seen it before, but
I forgot that movie.
it
like
was
what it's
so much better the second time. Like, honestly, it's way better the second time around. But he does much, like, same with Split. It's a very small cast, but he does so much better with smaller cast. Because Avatar is a big cast. Lots of people. You know, lots of extras and lots of main characters and his crap. He seems to do better when there's less characters. So stick to that, Shyamalan.
Yeah, no more remakes of anything,
No.
please.
Well, supposedly Avatar: Last Airbender is giving a live-action Netflix series.
It is, which the original writers are a part of that also, so I'm hoping
Which gives
that
hope, but let's
Yeah.
actors are also quite important. You gotta get the right ones.
I say I'm skeptical. I have hope that maybe it'll be better than the movie, but I'm still quite skeptical because
That's
that
true.
movie was a load of crap.
I know, we're remaining... Like, we like to have hope, but we also are skeptical. Like, the Wicked movie that's coming out. I have hope, but I'm also quite not getting my hopes up.
Yeah.
And I guess since we're pretty much on the last one, Dragon from Shrek.
Yeah. That one was an interesting take on a
We're
dragon.
talking about Eddie Murphy and dragons.
Yeah.
A female dragon that literally has eternal lipstick on that gets seduced by a donkey.
Somehow.
Or that falls in love with a donkey. She doesn't get seduced by him. He's not
You
trying-
must bleach because you have one dazzling smile. And that's pretty much what won her over. But yeah, like that was another interesting take on a dragon because she started off as, you know, the bad dragon having to save the princess from. But then for whatever reason, she gets seduced.
She doesn't get seduced. She falls in love with him. He didn't
Yeah.
really try to seduce
I was going to say, maybe not seduced is the right word. Yeah, she falls in love with a donkey, of all things. And then later they become a couple, and she
And
is somehow have children.
mutant children.
I don't...
Let's not, nope.
Nope, let's not.
But also she had a cool sound, like her roar was cool.
Her roar was cool.
Very unique. I will also honorable mention the 4 dragons from God of War, the new one. Because they look cool. They sound cool.
I didn't even know there were
The most
dragons.
freaking badass moments. We showed you the moment where Kratos kills the
Oh,
dragon. And
yeah, that's
and
right.
it falls like he just stands there. Most greatest moment of this game is literally you kill this dragon and you land on this cliff and it's still above you, kind of Smaug style, like and it starts falling over. Kratos doesn't even budge. He just stands up, stands there, and then it falls, but its maw is open, so it just lands around him, and he just stands there as the music's like very Inception-like, and it's just like it makes you feel like a freaking badass. It makes you feel incredible. It's like, oh, I love that moment. It's so awesome. Honorable mention to those dragons because they look cool.
We have one last one, the Hungarian Horntail from Harry Potter.
Very one-off dragon.
I mean, I thought
Looks
that was
cool.
a pretty impressive looking dragon. Very cool.
Although once again, a security measure failed at Hogwarts. They didn't enchant the chains with magic to prevent them from breaking. I have
Yeah,
a lot
that
of
thing
problems.
escaped way too easily.
We have a lot of problems with Harry Potter, especially the movies. We don't remember much of the books because it's been a very long time since we've read them. Probably won't go back because we're not big fans of Rowling herself. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about that maybe another time. But,
Yeah, the Hungarian Horntail design was really impressive, especially like all the horns. I mean,
yeah, I
obviously
like
it goes
look
with the
of
name,
I
but
like the look of it.
very impressive look. Well, then we have to talk about probably the most important dragon, the Dragon Warrior, Po from Kung Fu
Yes,
Panda.
Po from Kung Fu Panda. Dragon Warrior.
Sorry, just a little joke I wanted to throw in there.
Yes.
I mean, he's called the Dragon Warrior. Come on.
But he's not a dragon. He's just
No, he's not.
Great movies, William. I've never seen the third one.
You haven't seen the third one yet?
No.
Oh my gosh. Paul, we need to have a movie night.
I like the second one.
Second one's good.
I like the
We
second
need
one.
to watch How to Train Your Dragon 2 and Kung Fu Panda 3.
And we
Yep.
need to marathon The Hobbits because I haven't watched them since I got home.
The extended versions. Yes.
That's why I said we need to, because we don't have them back at home.
That's right.
The first one, not the other two. Anyway, that's going to wrap up the Dargon part, but now we actually have a Why is the Force Connecting Us bit. Morgan, you want to give that one? You don't have to read the exact comment, but I guess you can.
Yeah, well, yes, I kind of want to.
Because it's one of Morgan and Paul's friends.
Yeah, we finally... I don't want to say finally.
It's our second, technically, because we did have one before that we didn't know, because we've never seen Voltron.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we had someone that commented on one of our posts on Facebook. I'm trying to find it.
I say it should be on the page, just like right
Yeah,
at the top.
it was.
Or wasn't it?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out because I don't remember which post. Oh, it was this
Yeah, it
one.
was
I
on
found it.
our
I found it.
schedule.
But yeah, so for our How is the Force Connecting Us segment with requests and comments from people, mine and Paul's friend Garen commented on one of our posts, and this is what he said. I'd like to hear a breakdown of the origins of the Jedi and the Sith, really more the Sith for me. I would love an episode of just about the Grey Jedi, their lore and confirmed or theorized characters, and also villains of both Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. So he had a lot of requests, which I think is awesome.
Well,
Thank you, Garen, for doing that.
Thank you so much. We're going to have to dedicate a whole episode probably to this whole comment, or several episodes of this whole comment, because we could go on for a while.
But guaranteed we will bring those up because those are things that we can talk about, or at least probably mostly
I will give kind of a heads up, though, because for those of you who were not aware, when Disney acquired Lucasfilm, to make it easier for them to make more movies and to make more material, they had to decanonize everything but the movies and television shows. And they are now part of the Legends, which is kind of considered an alternate universe in Star Wars. So that way it'd be easier to make movies and things like that. So it's kind of a clean slate. It's how the new movies are able to be made, how Rogue One, Solo, all these movies, and Rebels and Resistance and all that. So they had to decanonize all that. So there is less information now. The information I will give, it'd probably be from the Legends mostly. However, we will look into the canon. Like, I think the origins of the Sith will be pretty easy to piece together because Darth Bane does exist. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the actual origins of the Sith, that'll be more of the Legends. So in the future, it may not be considered accurate anymore.
Did you say there isn't much on the Grey Jedi?
There's not that much on the Grey Jedi. They're not exactly an official thing. They were never really made. Like, they're not their own order. They're more of just Jedi who don't always do the right thing. But we can talk about that more later. They're not like an official order. However, if I have my way, it won't be the Grey Jedi though. Because the Grey Jedi, they're still Jedi. Like they still do the Jedi thing. My people aren't Jedi. But more on that later.
But thank you, Garen, for your comment, and we promise we will have those episodes on the stuff that you want to hear.
Yes, and we'll plenty to talk about Lord of the Rings villains too. I mean, we'll have plenty about that.
Oh, plenty.
We could talk about Morgoth. We could talk about Sauron. We could talk about a Goliant. We could talk about Saruman. We could talk about all of it.
Yo, yeah. There's tons of stuff we can bring up.
There's plenty.
Lord of the Rings.
Tolkien wrote a lot of stuff.
So thank you, Garen, for your comment. We will have future episodes on those. Hopefully here soon. We're still getting together the rest of our lineup for February. But that is all that we have for our Why is the Force Connecting Us segment. Hopefully we'll get more comments and more requests in the future. Austin, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Not tonight, just thanks for listening. We really appreciate all your support. So if you like this episode, please hit that like button. If you really like this series and want to see us make more, please subscribe. We love doing this. We have a lot of fun. We like talking to people. And we just encourage you to leave a comment or on our Facebook page or on our YouTube videos or email us at the link below, forcecast327@gmail.com.
Yep.
And that's all we have for tonight.
Thank you for listening to us go on about dragons, our favorite mythical creatures. They're super cool. If you have a favorite mythical creature, whether it's also dragons or maybe something different, let us know in the comments. We'd kind of like to hear what you guys think, what your favorite mythical creatures are. Just kind of share that with us. And we've loved doing this. We look forward to our next episode, which I know we put it on our lineup, but our next episode we will be focusing on riff tracks.
Yes, riff tracks.
Which
we will explore. Let's just save it. Let's
okay.
Save this surprise
We'll let the people wonder what is riff tracks. So next episode is riff tracks. If you know what it is, kudos to you. You're amazing. If you don't, you'll find out next Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Forcecast with Morgan
and Austin.
May the Force be with you.